Hey guys, Tom here with Permaculture Wilmington. Today I'm cleaning out the hydroponics a little bit more. We're going into winter right now, and some of the, you see the basil on the other side over here is not doing all that well. It really just needs to be taken inside. So I've got another unit inside that I'm moving some stuff to. But also these are sweet potato vines that these are the slips that I did in the spring, and I just decided to leave them in here all winter. And some of them grew to be really long, and I kept cutting them back. You can see like where the stem had died back from when I cut it, and then it regrew. And yeah, so I just thought it would be interesting to see what these look like in hydroponics after a season, to see if they have like tubers or anything growing. And one of them did, that I pulled out a couple days ago, and I just wanted to do a little video in case maybe one of these had one too. But we're gonna see here. These do not, so they don't really make tubers when you put them in hydroponics. But I did have one plant that had a little sweet potato on the vines. It was just a real small one. It was on the other side though, it might still be there. But in general, I don't want them to, because I don't want them to clog up the pipes. So I just thought it would be interesting to kind of see what's going on. You can see where like the mice step on my hydroponics at night and they push them all down. Oh, there we go. There's a sweet potato. So this is one the rats have pushed that little cork thing out, the styrofoam. What do they call those? The pool noodles. There you go. But here we are, a sweet potato in the bottom, forming right here. And but that's about the most that I've seen growing them in hydroponics. They don't produce the potatoes. But that's a good thing, because we don't want them to. We just want them to create slips. And it did, man. I got about 40 or 50 slips just doing hydroponics, just putting them in this system this past spring. And they're all around the yard now. They're growing pretty much everywhere. Not so many in here, but there are some like right back here they're growing. I put them around things that they could grow up, so we can do more vertical growing and have more space to grow more variety. But yeah, we're moving into winter now, guys. So I already cut back all the moringa, took all the branches off. I guess I call them drumsticks is the technical term. But I've got seeds thrown all over everywhere. I had like pots. I moved the pots out. I put a lot more compost in pots this season because I had a whole nother batch. Like I said, if you guys do this continuously from one season to another, and you just kind of live the lifestyle of taking our waste and making compost and constantly trying to make the soil more fertile by different means. Like for instance, I go fishing, so I bury a lot of fish in my yard, and the fertility is just, it's really starting to show after a few years of having this mentality of life. But everywhere we look, we see perennials growing. So we've got, right here is wild rocket. We've got wild rocket growing. We've got mustards growing with daikon. There's chicories, there's garlic, there's onions. You know, there's herbs in here as well. That's oregano back here. We've got some rosemary, and you know, it's just a diversity of things. Guys, you can see over here where I planted, these are just lettuces. And again, this is where I had compost, and we had so much this season because we filled up all the pots that we accumulated from landscapers in the area that were throwing them away. So we've upcycled maybe 150 or so pots. So there's these here, and there's more outside. I know you guys saw this from last season. So we did the kale out here. And this season, we also have an outside garden over here that we've accumulated pots for. So again, so we've got all these back here, and I put a lot of spinach in these and some endive, but mostly spinach, and mostly oak leek lettuce in here, and some different varieties of lettuce and kales. But yeah, so you guys can get a general idea here. A lot of pots this season. Like I said, we were planning on moving, so we wanted to take all the compost we made with us. Otherwise, this would be on the soil, and these would be beds instead of potted areas, was the original goal. But it just didn't work out that way, and we're kind of living in an unsettled way at the moment, trying to switch positions and move into a different house with a different property. I own this one, but we don't like the HOA and living around the rules, because we can't, like, this actually is probably not something the HOA allows, honestly, but because they're in pots, then they don't say anything. They're mobile, and I can move them if they don't like it. So it's not that big of a deal at this point. But if I were making beds out here, my HOA wouldn't like it very much. They've already stated that a few times if you look through the previous videos. But anyway, guys, hope you're having a good day. This is Tom with Permaculture Wilmington, and just showing you guys what's going on. We harvested a little bit of the turmeric we have here, and you guys can see this is what the turmeric looks like. We're going to let a lot of the tubers stay in the ground and grow plants for the next season. But I just thought you guys would like to see, because just 2 of these plants, with a portion, you can see where it broke off. So there's still lots of tubers still in the ground. But just these 2 tubers, man, are going to last us for, several weeks. That's a lot of turmeric. So we usually just put them in the fridge and cut slivers off of them, or use a grater, and then just keep putting it in the drawer, but don't put it in anything, so it just continues to dry out a little bit and it won't get moldy. And that way you can use it as a dried herb as well, or a dried tuber. Whenever it dries, you can just grate it and put it in things like that in dried state. Lots of curries and all kinds of stuff, man. It's just turmeric's a great one to have. But anyway, guys, hope you're doing well. This is Tom with Permaculture Wilmington.